Okay, so now we are dealing with an equation of intervals. So basically the answer in our end, we're gonna give it as an interval, or we can give it as and we can give it in interval notation form, or we can give it in set builder notation. So there's two ways in which you can give a solution. You can either give it in set builder notation, or you can give it in the interval form. And then the way in which you can solve this kind of a quadratic interval equation, there's two ways to it. You can either use a number line, or you can use a rough sketch of the graph. So this is basically what I mean. So you're gonna first say x squared minus x, and then transpose the 6 to the left hand side. And when you do transpose it, it's gonna become negative 6. Then it's gonna be all greater than 0. All right, and then if we try to factorize x squared minus x minus 6, the factors of x squared is just x and x, and then the factors of 6 for this case of ours that can make sense, it can only be 2 and 3, 2 and 3. And then seeing that there's a negative there and a negative there, one of our brackets has to have a negative and the other one has to have a positive. And the one that must have a positive, it has to be the one for 2. The one that must have a negative, it has to be the one for 3, because we have a negative x there. And then if you cross multiply there and you cross multiply there, you're gonna get 2x minus 3x. If you add them all up, you should get minus x. So basically that's what we're looking for. So our bracket is gonna be x plus 2 and then x minus 3, and then that is all greater than or equals to 0. All right, and then basically the first thing that you can do is use a rough sketch of the parabolas, because basically this is a parabola. In terms of graphs, whenever we're dealing with terms of functions or graphs, we call this a parabola. So you can draw a rough sketch of this parabola. So we can draw a rough sketch, so we can put, let me use a different color, let me just use green, this way, this way. And can you also see one thing? Can you also see that this kind of a parabola is positive here? So if a parabola has a positive value of a, or has a positive value for the coefficient of the highest degree, which is 2, because the highest degree here is 2, and it is the positive value, is going to be concave up, meaning the curve is going to go from here up until there. Then we can put arrows there, then I can put an arrow there. Okay, I can just leave it that way. And then if I were to solve this, that would be negative 2 there, and that would be 3. And seeing that this is a greater than or equal to, I can actually use dots instead of open circles. Ne? And then after that, what we could say, according to this kind of equation, we have to look at the parabola where it's greater than, where it's less than or equals to 0, according to this thing there, or according to this thing there. We have to look at for where the expression, or where the function is less than or equals to 0. So we have to look at where the function x squared minus 6 is less than or equals to 0. And if we do look at that, it is on this thing down there, basically because if you look at it from here, from this point till here, it's greater than 0. Then if you look at it from this point there, it's also greater than 0. So the only point where this function is less than 0 or greater than 0, it has to be this shaded part there. So you can also, basically you can say your answer is gonna be x is an element of greater than -2 greater than, and then this is your answer at the end. All right, and then according to the number line, you can do it this way. So you can put a number line this way, and then you can put a 2 here, -2, and then you can put a 3 here. And then at the top of the 3, at the top of -2, you can put a dot, and then the top of 3, you can also put a dot there. And then what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna use simple calculator methods. So if we try to substitute any value between -2 and 3 in this expression here, let's try taking, let's just say 0, right? If we substitute 0 into this, we're gonna get a negative answer, because the answer that we get a -6, so we're gonna get a negative answer. So we're gonna get a negative answer. And then we're gonna also look at values that we can substitute going from -2 or until that point, and then values going from 3 till that point, and see what sign we're gonna get. So basically a number line, we're just trying to find signs basically, for us to know which answer we're gonna get, or for us to actually understand the answer that we're looking for. So basically when you use a number line, it's not the same as the graph there, because for the graph we're just looking for the parts where the function is negative or where it might be positive, but for here we're looking for the signs in which it's gonna tell us the answer. So for here we can try subbing in any value from less than 2. So we can try subbing in -3. So we can say -3x squared minus -3 minus 6. It's a positive answer. We get a +6, so we get a positive answer. So here it's a positive answer, right? And then if we choose 4 for that other side, 4 squared x squared minus 4 minus 6, we get a positive answer as well. So it's a positive there, and it's a positive there. All right, so basically remember we're looking for the part where x is less than 0 or greater than 0. So basically it will only be here according to the number line. So it will be the same answer as we gotten here. Okay, so that's how you will illustrate your solutions, by either using a rough sketch of the parabola or the rough sketch, or using a number line, right?